It's Donald Trump versus the fake news. And getting on top of this dog pile includes Pete Hegseth, who kicks the daylights out of CNN.
Are you certain none of that highly enriched uranium was moved?
Of course, we're watching every single aspect. But, Jennifer, you've been about the worst. The one who misrepresents the most intentionally.
I just really enjoy this. I think it's important for us to look at this. Almost has nothing to do with what Trump does, anymore. It's more about what does the media say about what he does. And we already know they're going to try and take him down. And then the media finds out, do we have enough power to push this message through to the ignorant public? Can we make them think that Trump is a failure when he's a success? And we've already seen them tell their blatant lies that are 180 degrees from the truth. Things like when they say the border is closed when it's open. Inflation is down under Biden when it was up. They're going like, you can't believe your eyes. They're going, Biden is sharp as a tack and totally capable of running this country. And then you see Biden on TV like staring through everybody, walking around like a zombie. The media does have so much power over us. What you submit yourself to watch often dictates what we end up believing. So we have to be very careful what we put in front of our eyes. And I hope I can be responsible to you. I hope I can be trusted, but also don't trust me too much. You're allowed to question and ask for yourself, is this true? Because I definitely have a bias. My bias is for Trump, and my bias is to destroy the media and destroy the Democrat Party because they're satanic and lying. Like I've come to that conclusion already. And now my job is just to help support Trump, build up the truth in his arguments, and destroy the lies of the left. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I hope you guys have subscribed already. If you haven't subscribed yet, just let your finger just fall right out of your shirt and just hang and drop straight down and push that enter button over that subscribe button, and you'll join our side as we reveal the truth. Here's Trump destroying CNN.
All right, Kelly, go ahead. Here we go. Here's another one.
Hello, sir. Thank you very much.
We got them all today.
Okay. So, Mr. President, you talked about expecting some on-the-ground assessments at Fordo and other sites. Is that Israeli and U.S.?
It's been obliterated, Kelly. It's been
What is your message then, sir, to the intelligence community when they present reports? You're not disputing the DIA report. You're just...
They presented a report that wasn't finished. We're talking about something that took place 3 days ago.
I understand that's
the report was done
so
2
what
days
is
ago. Wait a minute.
Yes.
They didn't see it. All they can do is take a guess. Now, if you take a look at the pictures, if you take a look how it's all blackened, the fire and brimstone is all underground because it's granite and it's all underground. You don't show it. But even there, with all of that being said, the whole area for 75 yards around the hole where it hit is black with fire. The group that's run by this gentleman, in fact, you may want to talk about it for a second because we're going to issue a report. And I think it's not even a very exciting report at this point. It's been obliterated, totally obliterated. And they did a report, but it was like, if you look at the dates, it's just a few days after it happened.
Understood, sir.
So they didn't see it. They said it may be very severe.
Understood. Do you have a message for the intelligence community, though, in terms of unvarnished information getting to you, that it's not...
I don't really have a message. I would say issue the report when you know what happened. I wouldn't say that it could be severe or maybe not. They use the word severe. It could be severe or maybe it's not.
And
so people like you picked up and said, oh, it's not severe.
We're just looking for
the report was not a complete report.
It's automatic. She came up with the wrong conclusion because of her bias. That's all he's calling out here. And that is true. In this whole exchange, she does not care about what the bomb actually did or didn't do. And Trump didn't go into the science and say, look, we went in with an electron microscope to prove what we did. He went back to his initial position, which is we dropped the mother of all bombs, like 12 of them on these 3 locations. And the whole place is black. It's cindered. It has gone down and burned. And then, of course, there's no way for us to go back in with an inspector and find out exactly what percentage of damage or if the nuclear reactors where they were and what they are. We just buried it. But all she needs is a little bit of evidence to say, your mission was a failure. Your mission was fake. By the way, for days and days, they were denying that Iran even had a nuclear bomb. That was the initial thing that the media came out with is that Trump's attack on it was for a non-bomb. Well, now they conclude there is a bomb because they really want a nuclear program to be alive down there and survive that bombing that Trump did 3 days ago. So now it's important for them to have a missile underground and to have a nuclear development underground. They're going, no, it survived. Remember last time when we said that it probably wasn't there and that you were launching these bombs because you're mean on a nuclear Iran? Well, now we know Iran. Now we because we prefer to believe it that Iran is nuclear, and you missed it. See, this whole thing is just about trying to make Trump look bad. It's not a pursuit of truth. That's not how truth works.
Yeah, the message was probably wait till you know the answer before you.
And sir, did you not have a public component to your Zelensky meeting for a tactical reason with President Putin?
Let him answer.
Hello, Mr. Secretary.
Yeah, there's a reason the president calls out fake news for what it is. These pilots, these refuelers, these fighters, these air defenders, the skill and the courage it took to go into enemy territory flying 36 hours on behalf of the American people and the world to take out a nuclear program is beyond what anyone in this audience can fathom. And then the instinct of CNN, the instinct of the New York Times is to try to find a way to spin it for their own political reasons to try to hurt President Trump or our country. They don't.
He called it. He called it. That's exactly what they're doing. This whole question answer session is a puppet show. This whole question answer session is a Democrat National Convention movement to try to make sure that Trump loses and CNN maintains power and gets you to think a certain thing. He's saying it's very weird. Your instinct, your reflective instinct when you don't know is to make Trump look bad.
They don't care what the troops think. They don't care what the world thinks. They want to spin it to try to make him look bad based on a leak. Of course, we've all seen plenty of leakers. And what do leakers do? They have agendas. And what do? Do they share the whole information or just the part that they want to introduce? And when they introduce that preliminary report that's deemed to be a low assessment, you know what a low assessment means? Low confidence in the data in that report. And why is there low confidence? Because all of the evidence of what was just bombed by 12 30,000-pound bombs is buried under a mountain, devastated and obliterated. So if you want to make an assessment of what happened at Fordo, you better get a big shovel and go really deep because Iran's nuclear program is obliterated. And somebody somewhere is trying to leak something to say, oh, with low confidence, we think maybe it's moderate. Those that drop the bombs precisely in the right place know exactly what happened when that exploded. And you know who else knows? Iran. That's why they came to the table right away, because their nuclear capabilities have been set back beyond what they thought were possible because of the courage of a commander-in-chief who led our troops, despite what the fake news wants to say.
So now he has corrected her. Will she learn, guys? Is CNN, is the fake news capable of learning? Is journalism, is a Democrat journalist able to learn? Or are they so in a cult that they cannot even move molecules in their mind or move synapses in their mind and change their mind? He nailed it, by the way, because you saw the biggest change was in Iran. Iran went from being belligerent, because remember that Iran's in their only negotiation they ever had as a country, because they're so ass backwards, the only thing that Ayatollah ever had to negotiate with, number one, was oil, which again, there's other countries that do oil. If Trump opens up oil, they lose that ability. And number two was their nuclear program. That was the only thing that they had to threaten. And Trump just took it away. So now he's opening up the negotiation table with Iran. He's going, Iran, come and let's negotiate with Israel. Let's negotiate peace. Peace. He took away Iran's only thing they could negotiate with, their nuclear program. And now he invites them, much weaker, devastated. Nope, they do not hold the cards. You don't have the cards. He took away their cards and then he invites them to a negotiation table. It's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. And I love that Pete Hegseth has the clarity to call out CNN on this. Exactly what they're doing is pure. And they end up in trying to hit Trump, they end up degrading what our military did in the air, our incredible Air Force, our incredible refueling planes, for which one of them might have my nose art on the refueling plane, the KC-135.
But you're not disputing the report said what it said, even though it was initial.
The report said what it said, and it was fine. It was severe, they think, but they had no idea. They shouldn't have issued a report until they did. but we've gotten the information. I think Pete said it better than you can say it. And, you should be proud, especially you, should be proud of those pilots, and you shouldn't be trying to demean them.
No, there's
those pilots flew at great risk, a big chance that they'd never come back home and see their husbands or their wives. Let me just tell you, you and NBC, fake news, which is one of the worst, and CNN, New York Times, are all bad. They're sick. There's something wrong with them. You know what? You should be praising those people instead of trying to find some. By trying to go and get me, you're hurting those people. They were devastated. I got a call from Missouri, great state, that I won 3 times by a lot. And I got a call that the pilots and the people on the plane were devastated because they were trying to minimize the attack. And they all said it was hit. But we don't think it was really maybe hit that badly. And they were devastated. They put their lives on the line, and then they have, and I'm not referring to you, but real scum come out and write reports that are as negative as they could possibly be. It should be the opposite. You should make them heroes and heroines. You should make them really people that they were so devastated when they heard this news. And you know what they said? One of them, I spoke to one of them, he said, "Sir, we hit the site. It was perfect. It was dead on," because they don't understand fake news, because they have a normal life, except they have to fly very big, very fast planes. But it's a shame. You should be making them heroes. All right.
Now let's go to...
I like that conclusion by Trump. I'm going to keep going just a little bit to watch the follow-up on this, but that really is, Trump is looking out for the honor of our military. And then he's defending them from the dishonorable media that he's really starting to use serious words like lowlife, immoral scum because of what they do. And then it's hurting our military. Our military is hurt that a giant U.S. propaganda machine is against their honorable good work. And so Trump comes out, and I love that he uses his words, his bully pulpit, to help demoralize them and destroy them. And that's part of why we just make fun of them all day. I have no problem with that. I don't have to show both sides. I don't have to be fair. I'm already convinced that they're satanic. So now I'm just here to draw a fake mustache on their female reporters and just mock them, put them in a clown hat, in a clown gear. That's all that's left to do now, is just to demoralize them.
RNC Senior Advisor Danielle Alvarez. And Danielle, Rebecca really hit the nail on the head on a lot of the Iran-Israel part of this. I want to go to the reason that Donald Trump is there to begin with. The reason, just a few seconds ago, we saw him taking a picture with the Secretary General. It obviously is this, as we watch right now on the screen live, the makings of the family photo as all the world leaders get into place. Danielle, the reason we are here is because Donald Trump told these world leaders, you need to raise your defense spending to 5%. They did it. The Secretary General, in comments we heard within the last half hour, 45 minutes, said multiple times this would not have happened without Donald Trump.
And we're going to end on that, because Donald Trump got the whole world to kick in 5% of their GDP. More money, 5%, to pay for world security. Their little armies, their missiles, their bases, their whole thing. Trump said he was tired of America. He made the case right after launching those bombs. He goes to NATO and says, we did our part in cleaning up the nuclear problem with Iran. Now it is time for you all to pay up. And normally these people, they do not pay that percentage. They were down to 2%, some of them down to 0. And they're the first ones to start barking and complaining about what every other country should do, especially America, trying to condemn us, whatever. They won't pay in, but they want to have a say. It's just like, what was it? The chicken that made the bread, and everyone else wants to eat it, but the chicken's the one that actually made the loaf of bread. America made the loaf of bread, and all these Euro scum are trying to tell us what to do with security. Get into Ukraine. You owe more to Ukraine. Get in and pay for Ukraine. And Trump just goes, you know what? You want to vote? You pay in. And they paid in. This is incredible, huge, world-altering leadership by Trump, the guy that the left said was an embarrassment to the world, that America needed to heal its reputation around the world. And Trump actually goes in and through leadership is fixing the military problems of the whole world. I'm Doug in Exile. Subscribe.